Good morning, afternoon, evening, or night to all the ladies and gentlemen tuning in to the first ever podcast episode from The Apple. My name's Karan Bassin. I'm one of your co-hosts.
I'm Sanjana Jones, the other co-host.
I am in second year. I'm a second year health science student doing a specialization in biology.
I'm the same, but I'm doing no specialization, so just health science. And today we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff, mostly the transition from first year to second year or online to in person. And since we're incoming second years, neither one of us has ever been to basically like a real, actually, have you been to a lecture before?
I have never been to a
Me
real
either.
lecture, no.
So you did all online, right?
Yeah, completely online. Every single class online. It was just, but what did you think about the online experience?
I have to say, I think there were advantages and disadvantages. In the beginning, I think everyone was upset because I really wanted to do like a week and, all those kind of things. But honestly, I don't think it was the worst thing ever for some aspects. Obviously, like the isolation was probably the worst part of it. But I didn't actually mind being able to do classes from my bed and being able to do things at your own pace. What did you think?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So I found like a lot of students, I feel, everyone has a different learning style. So I completely get some people who are like, they need that physical, it's like how some people can't read online, but they need the physical textbook in front of
like
them.
visual learner.
Yeah. I'm like, so when I was coming in to university for this first year, it was the first time I was ever getting into online. So I got a laptop, I got myself teched up. And I actually loved the online experience. I thought a lot of the classes were amazingly organized. I don't know if you remember chemistry. Chemistry was like top tier. All the course instructors were amazing. Everything was organized great. I thought the labs were great too. And, even though I definitely felt the isolation, I was able to I feel like everyone was in such a same boat. Everyone worked together to kind of work out the labs, ask out a few questions here and there. So it worked out there.
I agree with you on that. I think that classes were organized well. The one thing that I didn't like is it felt really impersonal, I think. And you didn't really get a relationship with your professor. I mean, you might have. I feel like you had a good relationship with your TAs because you would always be asking them questions. At least I did. My poor TAs, I was like always emailing them. But it didn't totally feel like you could have a relationship. It felt like you were kind of just a bot with like two other kids in this one class. It was easy to get work done. That's what I did like. And I don't know if I have the attention span for 3-hour lectures at once, which is what I'm worried about.
You have 3-hour lectures. I just took 1 hour.
No, I didn't. I actually, if I saw the class at 3-hour lecture, I didn't take it. I was like, okay, next class.
For sure.
I would not be able to
even the 3-hour lab seems brutal to me.
Oh my God. That's what I'm most worried about. Is how am I gonna be able to basically to stay alert for that entire time without being able to like pause my in-person professor.
Yeah. And it's not even like you have the 3-hour, because like how my schedule is structured, it's like I got 2 hours in the morning and then an hour break and another 3 hours. So like it's like a whole job pretty much on campus. So that's horrible for me. But the one thing I wanted to mention I really loved when I was on campus were the open book exams. And it's not just because it was easier. Okay. It was because hear me out. Okay. Whenever I did exams in the past, my core way to get the high grade was just to memorize, like group memorization. And then you do the exam and then everything is leaked out by the time you wake up the next morning. Everything's gone. I can't remember any of it. But because it was open book, I didn't have to remember a bunch of garbage. And I used that kind of studying time for the application of the actual studying material. Like I actually tried to apply it. And it was amazing. I even told Western, like they had these kind of, you had to come in and you had to tell them like what you liked and disliked about it this year. And I told them that they should do more of these open book exams because it was so helpful. They ignored me, but
I completely agree.
Yeah,
it makes you want to learn. And so you actually try to like figure out what you're doing instead of just memorizing it.
So for this online year, what was your kind of strategy in making notes or studying?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I feel like in the beginning I was very diligent and I had like I'm a hand writer, so I would write everything by hand. I'm not really like a typer. I feel like it doesn't register in my mind if I'm typing.
You handle everything for all the classes?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's dedication. Okay.
I don't know. It was like, oh, I'm gonna do this like for all my classes. And that was me in September, October, November. And then once I did a few midterms, I was like, okay, this is not working. So I just like completely stopped doing that. And it was more like, instead of writing things down, I mean, what did I do? I can't even remember anymore. I think I would just like put everything from the slideshows into like a document and then just like go over it when I was done, because writing it out was just like a waste of time, especially if you have to watch it or read it then write it. It was like, I can't do it twice. You just gotta do it once type thing.
Yeah.
Did you take any essay courses?
I did. I took a philosophy course. It was horrible, not because the class was horrible. Not because the class was horrible, but the material in the class was great. So it was philosophy, law, and ethics. So we took like we talked about really like controversial topics, and then you had to kind of talk about it from an ethical standpoint, a law standpoint. It was really good in thought-provoking conversations. But I've always struggled in English courses because I hate the subjective nature of the marking scheme. Because I was like doing all these science courses where there's a right answer and a wrong answer. So I'm getting these 90s, and then I do this essay course, and I do my first essay. I really think I smashed that. And then I get my mark back a week or two later and it's a 72. And my heart dropped. I was like, oh my God, it was horrible. And in the trend, it just kept on happening. I went from a 72, next essay was like a 76, then it was like a 79 or whatever. But like, it was so bad. And because you have to do 2.0 before you graduate in credits and essay courses. I'm not looking forward to it.
I totally know how you feel, because I did 2 women's studies courses and an anthropology course. And I'm kind of opposite of you. Although like I'm in health science, I actually love English. And so I'm like, writing is my strong point. And I did the first essay in women's studies. Once again, exactly like you. I thought I was like, oh my God, I did so great at this. Like I'm going to get 80 plus. And then it came back and it was a 67. And I was like, oh my God. I guess I'm not as good as this as I thought.
Yeah.
But I think the first essay in university really gets you, because it's so different from high school. And I didn't expect, because everyone's like, yeah, writing is so much harder. And I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. And also like, that's my strong point too, like women's studies. And my plan was to like minor in it and everything. And I'm not doing that anymore. I was like, never mind. I loved learning about the material, but the class structure just didn't work for me. Personally, I don't know. The second semester one was actually way better because it was more interesting. The first one I took was like all history, but essays, I thought I was good at them. I think as the year went on, I got better and I improved. But yeah, the first one, it like hits you right in the face. For sure. Like that low mark, and then you just got to make your way up. But I think it was really difficult to manage time with essay courses, actually, because I don't know about you, but I didn't have any live lectures. So it was more like do it at your own pace. And that, I think you have to be very on top of things. And it can be easy to fall behind when you put your other courses kind of first.
I loved the lectures that you can just do at any time, because I think I mentioned I was like a night owl in the thing. And so I watched these lectures 4 or 5 a.m., completed them. But then my entire sleep schedule is now like, sleep 4 5 a.m., wake up 1 2 p.m. And I know it's unorthodox, but it works.
That's mine too, and I like it better.
It is right. Yeah, I love it so much. But the world goes around a different way. So I was just talking about like exactly how we were doing the online thing. So I wanted to talk about it because I'm sure some first years are listening. So if you do have some online courses. So what I did was I got the Surface Pro 7, or just a Microsoft laptop. And so I made all my notes on OneNote, which is a Microsoft thing. But so for the first week, I was in that mood. Like, I just started school. I'm going to write everything down. Like, I'm going to handwrite it, make really nice notes. And then when those 60, 70 slide presentations started coming on, I was just like, never mind. So I used to use Windows Shift S, and you could take a screenshot of your page when the lecture is happening. So I just took screenshots of every single PowerPoint slide. And those are my notes. That's it. And if I ever had to, I had a pen. I highly recommend anyone getting it to get a pen if whatever you're writing a note on, a pen that works on the screen. And then, you just annotate it or add whatever in. So that, and then you ever use Google Calendar? Is that how you keep track of stuff, or?
No, I have an actual calendar.
Okay.
I'm so old school. I just am bad at technology. Like I don't know how to do anything on the computer.
No, but I feel like people who do that kind of thing are also more creative. Like they just are so much more hands-on, good with their hands. But I was all Google Calendar. Like, and what I did was I color coded every class. So anyone who's listening, who's coming into first year, I would highly recommend that. It keeps you on top because you're gonna see 2 days or a day before something's due, the whole group chat's gonna blow up with people asking if you did it, what's gonna happen. You're gonna have people messaging you saying, yo, can I had people during my first year message me asking them no, they were asking to pay me for my assignment. And it was the craziest thing. And you don't think about like, oh, something could happen. And then you get that email from like a professor saying that, oh, we found academic
Oh my
misconduct
God, those
in the
are
classes.
crazy.
Yeah, exactly. It happened during exams all the time.
Yeah,
oh my God.
I don't know. I don't know. Like, I recommend if you are using like Google Calendar or regular Calendar or whatever, go in your thesis of all your classes and write down all the due dates. Like,
yeah,
I don't know who it was, but one of my tour guides told me this, and I did that, and it saved me because, guys, you will get no reminders. Like your prof
nothing.
will be like, "Hey guys, quiz due tonight." Like they might if they're nice.
Yeah.
But sometimes, like no one would say anything, and the group chat, if you're in it, probably will remind you. But sometimes, like things just come up,
slip,
and they just like it completely just passes your mind. Like you think you're on top of things, but there's so
It'll
much
slip.
happening in first year, like it's gonna slip your mind. But if you write it down, like that's what I did. I had a little journal, and the entire semester, like from September to December, and obviously like midterms, and sometimes those dates aren't finalized, but like weekly quizzes, essays, assignments, write those down so that you know, and then you can plan ahead. And I don't know if it's just me, but I actually hate the group chats the day before something is due. It's so stressful. It makes you think you did it all wrong. It makes you doubt yourself. So I just turn my phone off. If I've done it and I don't have any questions about it, I hate seeing messages in the group chat. I'm like, oh my God, I want to leave this chat. So that can be, I think, very anxiety provoking for a lot of
people. Be honest, okay? So a few days before an assignment's due, right? People forgot. You ever had someone message you being like, did you do this assignment? And you knew what was gonna come next. They're gonna ask for something. So you're just like, no, I completely forgot. Yes. I haven't done it. I've done it so many times. Oh my God.
Everyone has, you know?
You
work so hard on something. You don't want to just send it to someone.
Yeah.
But I only had like a few people do that. And if it were my friends,
if
it's a friend, it's not a big deal. But if it's like someone that I don't even know.
But have you had people? I had people who I never talked to once.
No, I've only had a few of my friends ask me, but never.
Okay. That's a better experience for sure.
Yeah, when we were in first year, we got this one email. It was from biology. And I think one student told the professor that people were like, what was it, doing the stuff on like a Zoom together? Like
yeah. I don't know why they thought that was a good idea, but it was like a huge Zoom call to do an exam together. It was like the first exam. It was like early quarantine.
I don't know how they found out though, but if you're gonna do it, like that's the thing. I'm not saying you should cheat. You shouldn't. It's very risky.
Yeah.
But why would they do with all those people?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Some people, you got to be a bit careful now. It's for sure.
You have to make sure you trust everyone. And if you're just being with all these strangers, of course it's going to go wrong somehow.
Yeah.
The thing is, they can never actually prove who did it, right? Like it's hearsay, but
yeah, but honestly, I'm telling you, you could easily, like for anyone who's coming in, you could easily do these courses by yourself. And I would like, especially because a lot of times they're gonna spring up a proctor track on you or a proctor IO, virtual proctor, and you're gonna be thinking you can rely on all these people to do a Zoom call together, and then you're just gonna be wiped out when the proctor starts because there's no
going into. Not, oh my God, I think we're going to first year. We're going to second year and we're going to be in person. There's no Zoom call to do your exam.
Exactly.
Like, you got to rely on yourself.
Yeah.
So being at home, I didn't really have anybody to do stuff with or rely on. And I didn't know anybody in my classes. So I did most of the things by myself. It is a good idea though, to try to make a good friend in each of your classes. So you have someone for sure. Class, hey, what do we do? And that's what I think I didn't do well. But if you're in these group chats, like they are really helpful, but sometimes people will just not answer you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you should.
That's the worst feeling. You ever do that? You ever say something in a group chat and you're trying to get a response, but no one responds?
It's the worst.
So bad.
And it's just like crickets. Like,
okay. It feels even worse. I haven't done it, but I've seen people message, no one responds, and then you see the message has been deleted. I feel so bad. Yeah, anyways, before moving on to the next thing, I did want to mention Sanjana said it perfectly. On your first or right before your school starts, it seems like a big hassle, I know, but go through every class's syllabus like properly and go through everyone's due date. And you'll see sometimes an assignment, you'll have 5, but you only have to do 4 for credit. The other one will be extra. So it's hard work, but it'll really prove off for anyone's coming in. Go through it.
Oh my God.
You called it a thesis. You did call it a thesis.
I call everything a thesis. I'm like, yeah, I call it the thesaurus. How do you say that?
Thesaurus, yeah.
Thesaurus?
Yeah, thesaurus, the syllable. Yeah. Yeah.
I call that a thesis too. But yeah, it's a really good idea.
So now when we're talking about it, I'm going to move on to the vaccination policy. I want to see what you're thinking about it. So I have it pulled up here from the actual Western page. So I'm going to read out just what it says, basically what they've said.
Okay.
So Western said this was released on August 11th. So it's the newest update. And they said that they're requiring all students, staff, and faculty who will be on campus to demonstrate proof of vaccination. If you don't have proof of vaccination, you have to be tested twice a week. And so anyone who's in a work, clinical placement, music program, a varsity student, athlete, coaches, team staff, they are mandatory required to be vaccinated. So what do you think? Do you think this is ethically right? Do you think this is the step that they should be taking? Do you think it's the right step? What are your thoughts on this?
I do think it's ethical. Honestly, when I first heard this, I thought it was like, you must be vaccinated or you're kicked out of school. I didn't realize it was like, if you're not vaccinated, you're going to get tested twice a week. To me, that's not mandatory vaccination. So
fair enough.
I think they have to do that though, because it is the most ethical thing. You have to give a choice. So if you don't want to get vaccinated, you got to get the test twice a week. And who wants to do that? It's like the worst thing ever. Have you ever gotten a test?
No, I did. I saw the videos early quarantine with the whole nose thing, and I was
no one wants to do that twice a week.
No.
So I think it is ethical since you don't actually have to get vaccinated. But for the athletes, everything I like that idea because athletes practice with no mask on, and probably if you're in band playing instruments, like you can't really wear a mask. So I think that's really important. I know for a team, I was like looking into joining one team, and they sent me an email and said, if you don't have your double vaccine by September 1st, like you just can't try out. So they're actually taking it very seriously. I don't know if people are going to like fake vaccine passports. That's what I'm thinking about.
That's fair enough. I think, the point you brought up a really good point of how it is true that you have a choice. You could do the testing, whatever, but also for the athletes and stuff, I kind of understand why you're doing it, because like COVID affects your lungs a lot, and it could be a health hazard just to have that possibility, because the vaccine won't make you immune to it, but it'll lessen the symptoms greatly. So in a way, obviously, if all these people are participating in organized sports, you're gonna have so many people, there is a chance you get COVID. So I think it's a responsible to be vaccinated for everyone else and for your sake too, just because it's gonna, obviously, being an athlete, your lungs are gonna be used a lot. So I definitely understand where they're coming from.
Sweating, you're in contact, like most sports are contact. Football, you're touching the same ball, you're probably like touching your team. So I feel like in sports, it is the hardest to prevent spread, and that's why you have to be vaccinated. So I like that idea.
Yeah. Do you think it would have been, so from what I saw in my course selection, most of my courses are in person. There might be a blend where like maybe the lecture is online or something, but do you think it would have been better if they gave the option of completely online still?
Honestly, maybe. I was actually surprised that so many were in person. And one of my friends that goes to Waterloo, like he's doing all online for a semester. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, can you even do that here? I don't know.
No.
I think I have two classes that are fully online, 2 blended, and then the others are in person.
Maybe international students. I think international students might have the online, maybe.
I don't know, because a lot of the courses don't even have an online option. It's just like in person.
Yeah.
That kind of sucks. If you are maybe very immunocompromised and you actually can't come to campus, what are you supposed to do then?
Yeah.
I mean, exceptions.
In my opinion, I think leaving, at least for the first semester, leave that online option, because I'm going to be honest here. I mean, you could take all those pre-recorded lectures from last year and just replay them for all the kids taking those courses this year. Exactly. You would just need a course instructor for like answering questions and stuff, maybe giving out the assignments. But I mean, the hard part is done, and it would be so much better, in my opinion, to like have that kind of option, at least for the first semester, especially with the whole Delta variant thing. And they even addressed in they're like, the Delta variant's coming, so we got to be cautious. Yeah, is the Delta variant is just more contagious, you know?
Yeah, it's more contagious, and I think it makes you more sick.
Really? Okay,
I'm
yeah,
worried though, because I feel like we're gonna go into a fourth lockdown and
see, yeah. So we were just talking about this, but us, like me and you, and I'm sure all the other second years who are coming in now, we're not second years, we're just first years, realistically.
Basically.
Here. And we're first years who never had a graduation or end of grade 12, never had a first year. So you're gonna have like two basically full classes of, you know, hyper kids who've been isolated for so long and are just gonna go crazy at Western.
Yeah.
And then with this whole Delta variant thing, I don't know. Are you gonna be going into those parties? Are you gonna be? What are your kind of?
I don't know. The parties to me are so unsanitary. Like everyone's drinking out of everyone's cup. Everyone's like, oh, it's just I don't know if I'm gonna be going to a party for a long time. I'm not even a party person.
So I'm not gonna lie. I've never been to a party.
Me either. I've never been to a legit party.
Yeah, I've never. But you know, Western party reputations like huge. So
exactly.
I feel like it's a recipe for disaster. I mean, there was this whole thing, like Western was in the news for so long at the start of quarantine for like these parties that went out of control. And that was, when I saw it on TikTok and all these people talking about it, I
don't go there, guys. Like I'm at home. It's not me.
Yeah, for sure. I couldn't, and it's not Western's fault actually. We're saying Western, but like some of these kids, they just gotta, you gotta use a bit of common sense. Like they just want to party. And I get it's fun, but you gotta be a bit careful. But
most of the people I know actually got COVID that were on res.
Really?
Like
I heard about the COVID outbreaks on res.
Yeah, and my friends that got COVID on res, it was like the end or like the beginning of May. So it was right when school ended. And they had to quarantine for 2 weeks and they had to like take their exams. They got to take their exams like in the middle of May. So everything was pushed back for them. And then because in the beginning I was like, I would love to go on res. I was kind of like feeling like I missed out. But then I was like, good thing I didn't go because everyone has COVID here. You know what I mean? So
for sure. Coming back to what we were talking about before, because I think a lot of first years are going to be listening to it. What's your opinion on some of the first year courses and electives? Like, what do you think is a way?
We could also talk about like bird courses too, and
for sure.
The term bird course. So out of all of the first year mandatory classes, I think they're all pretty good. The one that I struggled in the most, I'm trying to think what my lowest grade was. It was actually first year bio. First semester bio. I really struggled in that class because the lectures were basically just videos with like pictures.
Yeah, they were just content, really heavy
notes in that class. I also struggled in 11-10, which I think was not just me. I feel like a lot of people struggled in that class because it was very content heavy. That class was full of just like articles to read basically. And then the exam was like you have to regurgitate the articles, which nobody
I hated that so much because it's not even like useful. It's like there's like you memorize statistics, you memorize specific quotations, and then they'll ask you and the
exam was like fill in the blanks.
I didn't feel it. I wasn't feeling it.
And the words were like determined, detriment. It was like the same thing 4 times.
I just couldn't. I loved bio. For anyone listening, for bio, it's just content. You just want to. But if you're used to just purely memorizing and regurgitating, it's not going to work as well. Like you do that, but you need to because a lot of the questions, what they're going to do is they're going to make it so they'll change up the concept. They'll change up the words. So you'll memorize words of specific things, but then they'll keep the concept the same. They'll change the words up. So instead of like a specific cycle name, they'll change up the cycle name, but they'll keep the concept the same. So you really have to understand how every single thing works and how it integrates together. That's what really matters. And then you're solid. And
1001 and 1002, I think were great courses.
1001, I think the content was great. I'm not great with statistics. I'm not gonna lie. So
I actually love that class. Like that was one of my favorites. I think.
Really, bio was my favorite. I loved bio.
Oh God, I
don't like to talk about chem.
People like this.
Yeah, I don't like to talk about chem. The 1301A, 1301 was great because it was very like kind of you understand the concepts and apply. 1302 I thought would be great because there's a lot of calculation, and then it just went out the window during the exam.
Take chemistry.
Oh, you didn't take chemistry?
I was there for like a week. And I was like, never mind.
Never mind.
I'm just not that person who's into like the nitty gritty science. I'm more of like a 1001, 1002, like I'm into anatomy,
the health sciences,
like the detriments of health, not really.
I actually love learning that too. For me, 1001, 1002, like you were saying, were amazing eye-opening classes, because for so long I've been such like a hardcore science kind of guy. And so I took health sciences instead of like a life science course, because I wanted to get that aspect of kind of how health topics impact people's actual biological health. And I learned so much interesting stuff. Like one of my favorite parts of those classes, which I wouldn't have thought, were like learning about, for example, breastfeeding and like the benefits of like how skin to skin contact and breastfeeding, and how
unit.
I loved that unit, and I just love those kind of units. And I remember like coming after classes every day, I was like telling my parents like all the stuff I learned.
You just learned so much.
Yeah, you learn so much like useful, informative, applicable stuff, which is I loved it too.
But the 1002, I want to talk about the structure of that class, because it was a 50% exam.
Oh my God.
Which was
the pressure.
Very stressful.
It was so much pressure, 50%. I remember.
Yeah, because it's like you're putting all your eggs in one basket. And I remember I was freaking out. I was like, because if you do bad on the exam, it's kind of like your whole mark is just gone. And that's really unfair in my opinion.
Yeah. If I were to give any advice to anyone who's doing their kind of coming into university and in Western, at least for Western, and they're doing their exams, a lot of their classes are going to have these kind of questions where it's like, it's going to give you a list of, it's going to give you a question, like a statement, and then I'll give you 4 kind of sub-statements. So I'll do like 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the answers, you just have to say which ones are correct and which ones are incorrect. And the answers, you have to fill in the bubble, and I'll say like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 4, 4 only, 3, 1, 2, 3, or whatever, whatnot. A lot of times you're going to be very, very beneficial if you use a method of like knowing, okay, so this one is like 100% wrong. You cross it out. So even, you don't even have to know like exactly which ones are the right answer, which ones are the wrong answers, but you can use those numbers, patterns to your advantage. So if you know 3 is definitely wrong, right? And you have to write which ones are correct. So the options remaining are like 4 only, 1, 2, 3, 1, and 2, for example. You can cross out the 1, 2, 3, 1 right away without even worrying, because 3 is wrong for sure. And I use that so much to my advantage. That was like one of my lifesavers in all my classes. Really helps. I love that one. You were talking about bird courses. What's your opinion on every time? For people who don't know, you should really join the Facebook Western Must Knows Facebook group. You'll get any information you need, anything for courses. You can, and if you're thinking about a question, it's probably been asked. You can use the search feature in the group and find reviews on all, like true actual student reviews of all the courses that you want to take, instructors and stuff. So you can search it up there. But every time I see people ask, what's a good second-year bird course, a first-year bird course? And if you don't know, a bird course is what people consider a very easy class to do minimal work in and get a high grade. So what's your kind of opinion on bird courses?
I think bird courses are subjective. What one person thinks is easy might be easy to you, may not be easy to you. I don't know if I even looked at bird courses first semester, because I didn't really know. But one that I heard about was easier was 121E, anthropology. And I actually took that course by accident. I was like, I don't know anything about anthropology. I want to drop out of this course. And then my academic counselor was like, you should stay in it. It's like really fun, really good. And I was like, you know what? Why not? I'm going to try it. I was nervous though, because it's not really my strong point. And it was my favorite course of the entire year. It was amazing. Like the professor, Dr. Pamela Brock, if you guys can ever take one of her courses, do it. She is an amazing professor. She's so knowledgeable. The course was like super easygoing. We met once a week, but it was like optional. We had weekly quizzes, but they were like super easy, and no exam. Like it was the best course I ever took this year. So I would say if you want to get into a bird course, make sure you actually know a little bit about it, because some people's bird courses are like weekly quizzes. But if you don't like that, then you shouldn't really go into a course like that. Or some people's bird courses are like a 50 exam, because it's kind of like no work. But if that's not really what you're good at, it's not going to be a bird course for you, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think Sanjana pretty much covered everything. I would also say, before you take a class purely for the bird, think about what you like. If you like completely hate the content and you're adjusting it for the bird, it's not going to end up well. And you hear it all the time after people take the courses. Like, I thought it was a bird. And a lot of times in the past, it'll become a bird. And then the year you take it, it's not going to be a bird. It's going to just mess up. So I think that pretty much covers exactly what we were talking about.
You guys can actually send in anonymous confessions. There's going to be a Google form posted in the description, or confessions, questions you have for us. We would love to be able to talk about them in the next episode. And
send your juiciest, best things, and we'll cover them for sure. Yeah, thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. We will see you next month. See you later.
Bye.